Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back. I am so excited today. To excitement. Okay, today is a live streaming interview, which we have here. So, you are be able to comment on the side and put your comments, ask questions as well, which would be really amazing. And the reason why we're here in the first place is to speak to Anna Lippett. Hello, Anna. How are you?
Oh, hi. Thank you for having me, Claire.
Well, Anna, that actually makes a change that, having an interview which is at the same time as my time zone.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. I'm getting used to putting the different time zones on adverts for things.
I know it's been, I think we were just, the pandemic obviously has opened up so many doors and so many opportunities where, all the digital technology that we actually speak to people around the world all day long, don't we? Really, it seems so natural, but at the same time, it's just so weird. It's really amazing. Yesterday, you were doing a clubhouse room, weren't you?
That's right, yeah. And I think we had people from all corners of the globe, really, which that's the beauty of social media, isn't it? That it can connect you up with people that you wouldn't necessarily be able to reach. And I love that. Actually, I think if there is a silver lining of the pandemic, it is opening up those lines of communication to people in other countries, because you can do so much digitally now, design-wise, and, Feng Shui. You don't have to be in person. It's nice to be in person. I love that, we've just been talking about this offline about really missing that human contact. However, being able to reach a wider audience is, means we can help more people, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So Anna, tell us a little bit about, so you are a Feng Shui practitioner, but your first kind of passion is something else, isn't it? And led you to Feng Shui. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into Feng Shui?
Okay, so started my career in the corporate world. I was head of business development in private healthcare and eyes, actually, optics. I worked in optics for a long time. And then had my children, and the travel corporate life just didn't fit anymore. And I took an interior design course because I've always been interested in it. And we were doing up our flat in London at the time. And I thought, I'll do a course, see what happens. And really enjoyed it, successfully kind of flipped that flat that we were living in and, made a nice little profit on the flat. And I thought, I'm going to try this again. So we flipped another property. And I thought, bit of entrepreneurial spirit in me anyway. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. And I thought, I could make a business out of this. So I continued and built a practice of my own, The Good Home, and helped a number of different residential and commercial clients in London and the home counties. And I first started using Feng Shui probably officially a couple of years ago after I studied it. Unofficially, I think I've been probably doing it for as long as I've designed interiors, because it's instinctive. And I discovered, I don't talk about this much because it is not that conventional, but it's another angle of design that, the Chinese have been using for millennia, and that's using energy and tapping into energy in a space and connecting people with their spaces. So I came across energy work actually via studying Reiki energy healing, and it just opened up so many possibilities to me, that we don't actually just live in a 3D space, that there's different elements of a space that we can really tap into. And it was actually my Reiki master that said to me, have you ever thought about studying Feng Shui? And it was just really, for me as an interior designer, it should have been a no-brainer. And I think because instinctively, as soon as I realized that I could feel and sense energy in a space, I've been working with it anyway. So studying Feng Shui was almost like formalizing what I already knew.
Yes.
And it was really funny. As I was going through my training, I would look at my own home and everything more or less was in the place it should be. So I think maybe you're born with it. Maybe it's past lives. It's been passed down to me. Not sure. But yeah, it's like working. I describe it as interior designing in 5 dimensions rather than in 3.
I like that. Yes, in 5 dimensions. I think, yes, it's that intuition, isn't it? You've got that gut feeling. It feels right or it doesn't feel right, and that's quite, that's really the core of Feng Shui. It's how do you feel in the space? Does it feel okay? Oh, if it feels good, keep going. If it doesn't, well, move it around, kind of things.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it's just a fantastic story. So how long have you been doing it now?
I've been an interior designer for 9 years, and I've been officially working with Feng Shui and Reiki for 3 years now. And it's just part of what I do. I find it really hard now to design a space just based on the aesthetic. I now have to talk to the client about, what are your goals and objectives for the space? What's the intention for the space? And I think probably before I studied Feng Shui, a kitchen, let's use a kitchen for an example. So the purpose of a kitchen for most people would be to cook food and to eat food. But now, knowing what I know about Feng Shui, we'll talk about nourishing the family. It's a space to open up communication with your partner, with your children. It's a space to have fun. It's a space to enjoy each other. And by understanding more about the objectives of a client's space and setting an intention for it, it helps to create, I feel, a better energetic flow in the space.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true, isn't it? And I noticed as well, I was reading through your website, and I always talk about environment psychology because it obviously, how our environment affects us and it affects our state. And you also study biophilia.
Yeah.
Oh, like this.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit, what is biophilia for those who don't know what it is?
Okay, so biophilia is a theory, if you like, that humans and nature are connected effectively. And by linking us to nature and to the outside environment when we're in our home or office, we are able to benefit from those feelings and those sensations that we get when we're outside in nature. So a lot of people think you can only just do this with having a giant tree in the middle of your office, but this is the same principle for bringing elements of nature, stone, wood, water, and real plants, of course. I mean, real plants are incredible for home offices, for example, because some varieties will actually improve the air quality. They'll absorb EMF from technology. Not all varieties, but some. But they're representative of growth. They are nice to look at. They represent us growing, our businesses growing, expansion, and the same can actually be achieved with artificial plants, because our subconscious can't differentiate between real plants and artificial plants. So there's definitely, I think, there's some purists out there in the biophilic community that will say, no, you can't use artificial plants. But studies have shown that the subconscious can't differentiate. So, if you're not great at keeping plants alive, get a really nice artificial plant, but just keep it clean, keep it dust-free. Use essential oils you can actually spray essential oil on artificial plants to kind of give them a bit of, give them some energy. As you can see behind me, I'm always surrounded by either I love foliage as well, just trimming something from your garden, and having that in a vase, and constantly having new life in your space, particularly in your office, sends a message to the universe of growth and expansion.
Yeah, and I guess it's that's the thing. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a big bunch of flowers that you're getting, every week or something. Just maybe going in the garden or around, and do cut a couple of things, and they last so long as well. I was walking on the railway track. We've got a little railway track, and I just cut some of the little flowers which were just on the side, just beautiful little natural flowers, and they lasted so long. And I was like, every time I was walking past them, I was like, wow, you're still beautiful. It just makes you feel so good, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And yeah, it's just it's symbolic as well. I think it's symbolic of prosperity and new blossom. Blossom season is such a wonderful time of year because it's when nature's waking up, and artificial blossom is beautiful to have in a big vase, because it just keeps that spring kind of new, fresh swelling of energy in a space. So yeah, I'm a big advocate of greenery.
And so, do you do a lot of work with kind of perhaps maybe larger organization? I know I kind of I wanted to talk about small home offices, but as we talk about plants and that kind of things, I know a lot of offices are kind of missing out on that nature side of it. That actually that biophilia, around you, that can be done so simply, isn't it? Do you do a lot of work in corporate?
Yeah, I have done in the past, obviously, not of late. But I think when people do start getting back into the offices, this is going to be even more critical than ever, that we really nourish people's mental well-being when they're back at the office, and allow people to connect with nature, because we've been through a rough time. And there are few people that don't feel better when in nature. Most of us immediately feel that, I think it's oxytocin, isn't it? That, the serotonin, the happy hormone when we're outside in nature. So I think it's going to be more important than ever. So there will be, I imagine, lots of opportunity in the big corporates for introducing more biophilic concepts, and and hopefully Feng Shui. Hopefully people are waking up to spirituality through this pandemic, that having faith in one's higher self or guidance, or just that that we are, as humankind, even that there are other ways to improve our environments and spaces by looking at things just with a slightly broader mind. Because the Chinese have done it for, I always come back to it, it's been around for millennia. It has been used for many years successfully. No buildings in Hong Kong are built without a Feng Shui consultant. No office in China hasn't had a Feng Shui consultant set it up. So I think it's just a case of just helping people in the West understand that it is just working with energy.
Yeah, and I think it's really good the way you kind of said it as well. I think that a lot of the interpretation of Feng Shui was very, perhaps, when we look at it from the outside and you don't really know about it, you would say woo-woo kind of things. But I think the pandemic has really opened up the mind of a lot of people in actually looking for alternatives, looking for a more holistic approach to things. And that's probably where, that brings that kind of, environment psychology. This is the kind of things. Yes, biophilia. That's kind of things that are scientific. They're proven things, and those things that the Feng Shui. That is also, it works together. They all work together to make you feel better in your environment, and really kind of make everybody feel better. When you feel good, you're more productive. You'll give better service, and everybody is much happier when that happened, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And, color psychology is well accepted. There's a reason why hospitals are, that kind of turquoisey blue, because it's a calming color. There's a reason that, most Ferraris are red. It is, most Ferraris that are sold are red. There's reasons behind, color psychology and color choices that, that corporates and brands use for their branding. And it is, ultimately the same principle in Feng Shui. It's how do we need to feel in the space? Each area of your home or office represents an area of your life, and what colors, what imagery, what scent. I mean, scent is another incredible way of elevating our happy hormones. So anybody who does think Feng Shui is woo-woo, I just urge them to talk to Claire or I, DM us, because it really is a very intelligent way of designing a space and improving your life, and you're expanding your business, because your home and your office are a vision board. Vision boards are widely accepted, and your office, how you set your office up is a vision board. It's saying that this is what I want to achieve.
Funnily enough, about that yesterday, weren't we?
We were.
How the arts and art around you and the paintings on your walls will represent, or will give you those feelings, or make you feel, make you think, make you, all those emotions going at the same time. And having the wrong painting or the wrong art on the wall could really kind of be quite damages without realizing that it is.
Sure. I mean, the amount of times that, particularly with home offices, I find often home offices and studies are dumping grounds, usually, for stuff that hasn't got a place anywhere else. Usually it's where the artwork isn't even on the wall. They're stacked up on the floor in frames, collecting dust. They've often got piles and piles of children's school exercise books from many years past. They are places that hold a lot of old, stagnant energy. And they should be places that are fresh, expansive, full of opportunity and growth. And it's easy to do, for you and I, it's very, very straightforward. But sometimes the challenge is getting people to let go of some of these things. But I always have particularly with small business owners and home offices, I always say bigger is better when it comes to a desk, because then you're sending out a message that expansion is what you are aiming for, and that if you have space at your desk for other people, then your business is going to grow. And mirrors in offices as well, they magnify the energy of the space. But that also helps with your mindset. If you've got a nice, big, strong desk and you're facing your power position, you're going to be in a better place with your business. If where are your objectives written down? Are they written down in a journal, shoved in a drawer somewhere, or have you got them up in a gold frame on the wall? This is what I want to achieve this year. And you go to corporates, and this is all very, very basic stuff, isn't it? Making sure that your objectives are clear, but have we actually got them visible?
Yeah, no, definitely. And you're quite right. I mean, I think one of the things that we probably see the most is that head facing against the wall, because it's aesthetically, it just gives you more space kind of things to have the desk against the wall. But it's probably the worst thing. And I remember, it's funny because when you just said that, when I first started my business, my office is downstairs, so it was kind of an extra room, and my desk was against the wall. So we had a little sofa on the other wall, and it was the dumping ground. It was the laundry. It was the baskets. It was, the shoes. Everything was going in there. And the day I started Feng Shuiing, and it was like whoa, this is like everything went out.
Yeah.
Got a new desk, like you said, a nice desk, move the position of it. Nothing in here is, dumping ground, because it's
Mm.
my business, it's what you represent, it's what you want to be, and I think we need to all kind of really kind of feel like that. And I know I'm very lucky because I've got an office in my home, and not everybody during the pandemic has been doing that. How have you been helping people with actually working perhaps from the kitchen or from, the side of the bed? Those are probably the hardest ones, aren't they?
They really are. And I think, I think there's two parts to that. There's the physical space, creating yourself something that supports your physical well-being, something that's ergonomic. I really dread to think how many injuries and chronic pain people are going to be in as a result of this. So that's the first, the first kind of area is setting up the physical space. I think the second one is about creating boundaries and some almost rituals about how you open up and close down your day if you're having to use a communal space. Unfortunately, a lot of it does boil down to keeping on top of clutter and being committed and being diligent about putting stuff away. I can't think of a single client project that hasn't ended up with, a number of different baskets from various different stores, because they are a really quick way, and they're quite a nice aesthetic way of just, scoop it all in at the end of the day, put that basket somewhere, and clear that table wherever you're working, have a vase of flowers, have your journal, have your, even down to any inspirational books that you have, anything that creates a sense of this is my office, and even just a picture in a stand-up frame. If you're working at the kitchen island, for example, as a lot of people are, having a small diffuser with some essential oil. I always have my crystals wherever I go, but that's me. Because you can probably see now, actually, so my husband is on a 3-hour conference call. We've only got one office. We've got one and a half actually. But I've actually we've kind of rearranged how we live, and this is our dining room, and it has now become my office space, and I prefer it. I actually prefer it to our office because I've set it up for me.
Right.
I'm facing the door. I also have a mirror behind me too, because I like to kind of really elevate the energy. But I make sure that at the end of the day, all of my work stuff is cleared away. I actually say a kind of intention at the beginning of the day to, kind of welcome in the prosperity and the energy for work. And at the end of the day, I give thanks for the opportunities of the day. I open the doors actually, and just I physically kind of just shift out the work energy. And then in the mornings, I actually let fresh air in. So they're the kind of, and they're not, I call them rituals. They're just to me, just logical things to do to freshen, kind of freshen the mind, really.
Yeah, it's moving the chi, isn't it? It's moving the energy and letting some fresh energy for the fresh day to start. And it's a beautiful idea. I'm the same. I walk down in the morning and I'll just open up the doors and just, get, especially, before the children kind of wake up, you kind of moving that, energy and just reopening the home. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Let's just, and it's good to have those kind of, habits, because that's, again, those kinds, the more you do it it becomes a habit, the less time you have to think, and it really kind of, it makes your day so much better, because you're already positioning yourself in that kind of, productivity. What am I going to do? How, what's synchronicity? I love, always kind of thinking what else is coming, and everything is always turning around to my advantage, and little things like that makes you feel so much more positive than
yeah.
Day.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, one of the real benefits of moving myself into our dining room is we, at the other end of the room here, we have kind of like a well-being sort of exercise space where we've got a Peloton spin bike, which is my happy place. But I also have my my yoga mat in there. So now I'm in the same space as my yoga mat. There is far more motivation to take a break, get on the mat. I've actually had to, because I've had a bad back for quite a long time, so I've had to do some stretches. But actually, as a home working discipline, we really should be stretching. We really should be taking regular breaks, not just for our vision on computers, but for our bodies. So actually, since the pandemic and since I've been working in this new space, every client that I've done a home office for has got themselves an exercise mat to live under their desk.
Oh, fantastic!
So it just encourages them to, whether you're into meditation, I am. Not everybody is, but if the mat is there, there's much more motivation to just roll it out and take a few minutes for yourself. So that's become a really nice new discipline of my own that I've kind of shared with clients.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you've got on your website as well. You design for well-being, don't you? And that's the thing, that the theory behind everything that you do. It really is looking at the whole well-being. It's not just one area. It's utilizing all the modalities to actually put everything together, and it's amazing. It's really beautiful. Again, I think when I only started a few months ago to kind of decided to bring the Feng Shui into what I do after 10 years eventually, and I was a bit thinking, yeah, but there's the Feng Shui here, but I want to do that as well, because that's why I learned about this and that and that and that. And then suddenly I was thinking, well, maybe it's not quite Feng Shui. And then the more we got to all knew each other, all of us, we got to this whole Feng Shui community, realizing that everybody's doing the same. Everybody's bringing, you've got Reiki, you've got, all kind of different modality that you're bringing to make those spaces and make the Feng Shui a even better kind of a place to make people feel good.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. And I can't pinpoint the moment where I think my personal desires, goals changed from wanting to help people create nice spaces to actually becoming a healer, really, I think, because that's what I feel I do, is that through creating spaces that the inhabitant is in harmony with and feels calm and supported, and that everything is set up to inspire them, in turn helps people to heal and to grow and to feel better about being at home. Because if you're surrounded by chaos, you're gonna feel chaotic.
Yeah,
it really, and I think now I still really enjoy helping people choose furniture and all the aesthetic side of things, but my heart now is really with helping people feel better in their spaces, for sure.
That energy, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Anna, thank you so much. What if people want to connect with you? How do they come and find you?
Yes, you can either visit me. There's a contact form on the website, or I'm just Anna Lippett on Instagram. They're the two best places to reach me, and I offer a free 20-minute consultation at the moment. Yeah, so if anybody has a project in mind or any questions, whether it's about what I call conventional interior design or Feng Shui and bringing energy into your space, then please feel free to drop me a line.
Absolutely fabulous. Well, thank you so much today. It was Yeah, I just love this conversation because it just, we're just so much on the same kind of, line. How do you call it?
Page. Same page?
Yeah, the page, the radio, when you've got the radio.
Oh, frequency. Oh, that's a good one.
The
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So yes, go and check out Anna. Go on Instagram. You do loads on Instagram as well, and you've got a clubhouse room as well on.
That's on a Thursday. Yeah, 4:30 British summertime, 11:30 Eastern.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's really, really cool. And anybody who's watching, there's loads more videos that I've done in the past. So go and check out the YouTube channel and subscribe. Are you on YouTube as well, Anna?
No, I'm not, but I'm going to be inspired by you, and I must join.
There you go. So check out Anna in a few weeks' times. And
that's a commitment.
That's my challenge to you, right?
All right. Yes, sir.
And any questions, you know where I am and you know where Anna is, and just don't hesitate. Just do come and ask those questions, because sometimes you listen to it, oh, that's intriguing. How can I know more about it? And it's that little intriguing moment that is going to make you feel so much better in your environment. So do it, be intrigued, ask the questions, look at people, follow them, and just learn how creating your own energy, aligning with your space, you will feel so much better. Hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you very much, Anna, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.